What's up, guys? We are back again with the AFC North predictions for this video. AFC West was last week. Last week it was yesterday. I don't know why I keep saying week. Every single video that I make one of these videos, I always say week. Don't get it mixed up. It is daily, except for Monday. I didn't post anything Monday, and I don't think there will be a video going up this Sunday. If there will be, you'll see when it comes up Sunday. But let's get into it. The Baltimore Ravens, they're kind of, I think they might take a little tiny, like, millimeter step back to where they won't be as good as last year, but they'll still be a really good uh, regular season team like they usually are. Not very good in the playoffs like they usually are, but you never know. They could completely change up, but I don't think they really changed anything up. So week one, of course, they beat the Raiders. They've always been a better football team than the Raiders for some time now. They'll lose to the Chiefs like they do every year. Every year that they play the Chiefs, they lose to them. So it's not really going to be nothing new. And the Ravens are going to go on a 6-game win streak right here between week 3 and week 9. They'll beat the Lions, the Broncos, which are pretty simple. The Ravens will beat the Colts, which that one can be a close game because I think Colts are going to be really good this year. Then they'll beat the Chargers, which I can see the Chargers winning that, but I highly doubt it because I think the Ravens are a way better football team. Then they'll beat the Bengals. They'll go into a bye week, and they'll beat the Minnesota Vikings, which the Vikings I like this year, but I don't think they're as good as the Ravens. Then the Ravens will lose to the Dolphins, as Dolphins are going to take a step up this year, in my opinion, and I think they have a real chance of making the playoffs this year. Then week 11, they'll be upsetted against the Chicago Bears. They needed an upset, and that was the one that I thought was going to happen. And then in week 12, they'll beat they'll beat the Browns at home against divisional opponent. Then they'll go on the road, lose to the Steelers and Browns. Just because I don't know, I think they're gonna split the division, or not split the division, split the divisional games with the Steelers and Browns because they're just all closely skilled. I think the Steelers are way worse than the Browns and the Ravens, but I think in actual divisional games, they're going to be close, like normal divisional games are. Then in week 15, the Ravens will beat the Packers. I think the Packers could upset here and beat the Ravens. Of course, there's always a chance that they'll win the game, but I could foresee it happening. I just don't think it will. And by the way, it is the Packers with Aaron Rodgers. I keep saying this every video, but in case you guys haven't watched the other ones and you just want to see your team's predictions or what I have to say, so you can talk smack in the comments or whatever. Week 16, I have the Ravens being the Bengals. Ravens are way better than the Bengals. Bengals still got a couple years to be playoff ready. Then they'll finish the season off beating the Rams and the Steelers. Just better football team than they are. They'll end the season at a 12-5 record. 4-2 in the division. 2 losses going to the Steelers and the Browns. 8-4 against AFC teams. 8-1 at home. 4-4 away. 6-4 versus winning. 6-1 versus losing. Like I already kind of talked about the Ravens earlier. I think they took a step back from last year, but it's not a big enough step to where people will notice it, especially not in the regular season, as they are, in my opinion, a regular season team, whereas they're really good in the regular season, but when it comes to playoffs, they do not play very well, which they have been. And no, it is not a knock on the team, the coaching, or the players. I'm not saying, oh, well, Lamar isn't a playoff quarterback, so that's why he's worse. No, he's just better in the regular season, and the entire team has been. And maybe it's just the way the offense is designed. I don't know, but that's just what I've been noticing. The second team in the division, the Cleveland Browns, like I said, going to be super high. I think next year, or maybe even this year, the Browns could take the number 1 spot in the division. But I think this year it will just be this. Alright, so week 1, they'll lose to the Chiefs. Simple. I don't really need to explain that. You probably have already heard my explanation multiple times. Or, in the Chiefs game, Chiefs predictions, which was last video. Chiefs are just a better football team. Then they'll go on a 2-win streak, beating the Texans and the Bears at home. Texans are a bad football team. Bears won't even be anywhere near close to ready with their rookie quarterback until, I think, later in the season, and I think the Browns are a better football team anyway, then they will. This is my upset. This is an upset pick. They will lose to the Minnesota Vikings. My Vikings are a good football team, but I don't think they're any match to the Browns, so I think this will be an upset. Then they'll go play the Chargers. They'll beat the Chargers on the road, and they'll come back home to beat the Cardinals, Broncos, and Steelers. All I think Browns are a better football team than they are. Then they'll go on the road and they'll lose to the Bengals, which I think the Bengals took a step up from last year, which the Bengals were not able to beat the Browns in either game. Both really close, though. And the Browns will beat the Patriots and the Lions. Browns are just way better football team than both of those teams. Week 12, they'll go on the road, lose to the Ravens. They have a bye week in Week 13, rest up to be ready to play the Ravens again, which this time they will beat them to, split the series with them. And then they will beat the Raiders, beat the Packers, lose the Steelers, which will split the series with the Steelers, beat the Bengals, which will split the series with the Bengals. They will end the season 12-5, exactly like the Ravens, but the Ravens have one more divisional win than they do. That's why the Browns being 3-3 and the in the divisional, and the Ravens were 4-2. 8-4 against AFC teams, 9-0 at home, 3-5 away, 4-3 versus winning, 8-2 versus losing. Browns taking a step up from last year, but not being, but I still think they're going to struggle to get around the Ravens, as Ravens are their kryptonite, so to speak, and they will be battling the division for years to come. Just while these two teams are really good, like they are right now. The third team in the division, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like I've said earlier, I think they're taking a step down. Big Ben just really isn't the guy anymore. And I really don't think they improved much from last year. If anything, they got worse. And yeah, they did draft Najee Harris, but I really don't think that was the biggest concern for them this year. As even though Najee Harris might be a good running back, if you don't have a very good offensive line, you won't really improve your running game. So I think they should have took that pick on an offensive lineman rather. I don't remember in the draft who was left. I think they drafted before somebody who picked a good offensive lineman. I'm trying to think who it was. I don't know, but I think they should have tried to go offensive lineman or other blaring needs that they needed, but they didn't, and I just don't think they're going to take a huge step up. And I think they need to upgrade the quarterback position and upgrade at a few other positions to go back to tip-top shape form. Although they could still definitely make the playoffs. Week 1, they will lose to the Bills. The Bills are a really good football team, way better than the Steelers. They were way better last year than the Steelers. Yeah. Then the Steelers will actually start here 0-2, losing to the Raiders, which I think the Raiders are slightly better, so I guess you can kind of consider this an upset. And then they'll go to Week 3 against the Bengals, finally getting their first win against the Bengals. Then they'll go Week 4 against the Steelers. Against the Packers. What am I even saying? And they will lose to the Packers. Packers are a better football team, like I said. Steelers are going to take a step back, and I think the Packers could take a step back, but I don't think they will. I think they're going to be the same as last year, as long as they keep Rodgers. And they'll beat the Broncos, and they'll lose to the Seahawks going into the bye week. They'll start off the bye week losing. Then they'll go on a huge streak, beating the Bears, Lions, Chargers, Bengals, and Ravens. The only win there and Vikings. The only two there that I think could change, and I think the Ravens could win there, and the Vikings. But like you can see, I don't have it predicted. And then they will go lose to the Titans and Chiefs. Titans and Chiefs being better football teams. Then they will go to Week 17, beat the Browns, and lose to the Ravens. Week 18, ending the season off with a 9-8 record, 4-2 divisional, 6-6 conference, 6-3 at home, 3-5 away, 3-7 winning, 6-1 losing. Take a step back. I think, what was it last year that they went? What was the record last year? I don't know, but I don't see this team being able to repeat what they did last year at all. So that's why I have them at 9-8. I think a lot of people are going to disagree with this one. Mostly Steelers fans, because at the beginning of the year, the Steelers are like the Seahawks, where they're always doubted and they surprise people. I don't think this is one of those occasions. I think the Steelers aren't going to surprise me, but they very well could. Well, so let's go into the fourth team of the division, which would be the Cincinnati Bengals, with a healthy Burrow and a Jamar Chase. I still think they shouldn't have drafted Jamar Chase. They should have drafted Penei Sewell, but they did what they did. Oh well, I guess we'll have to worry about that later. Week 1 they'll beat the Vikings. Vikings can win that one, but I think they will beat that one. Week 2 Bengals. Bengals are slightly better than the Bears in my opinion. Week 3 they'll lose to the Steelers. Ending at 2-1 record, and they'll go on kind of a losing streak here, losing to the Jaguars, which that one is kind of surprising. That one's the one that I think they would win, but it's an upset. Trevor Lawrence will be able to beat the Bengals. The 2021 first pick will beat the 2020 first round pick, and then they'll lose to the Packers, which it makes sense. Packers are just an all around better football team, especially if they keep Aaron Rodgers, which is, like I keep saying in this video, if they keep Aaron Rodgers, they're going to be good. The Packers are. If not, then I could see the Bengals winning this one. Lions, that's an upset right here. And then they lose to the Ravens, which I don't think is an upset. Ravens are an all-around better football team. Ending, and they'll go on the road against the Jets, and they'll beat the Jets. Zach Wilson, they won't lose to another rookie quarterback in this losing streak. They finally end it against Zach Wilson, the number 2 overall pick. Jets, I don't think will be ready, and I'm not very high on Zach Wilson being good this year. If he's going to be good at all, I think he could still develop, but I don't see him being good this year. Bengals will be at home to beat the Browns. Not really much to say. I just think the Bengals will get one against the Browns this year. And then Week 11, they'll go into bye week for Week 10. Week 11, they'll beat the Raiders, lose to the Steelers. That the Steelers will actually be one of the teams. I'm surprised that they didn't win one of the Steelers games, even though I made the predictions. I know it's kind of surprising, but like that's just how I have it predicted. I think the Chargers will win, and the Niners will get a win. The Bengals will beat the Broncos. Ravens will win. Chiefs will beat them, and Browns will beat them to end the season off. They really didn't have any like really good parts of the season, like a lot of teams do. They ended off 6-1, 6-11, 1-5 division, 4-8 versus AFC teams, 2-7 at home, 4-4 away, 1-9 winning, 5-2 losing. Again, I think they took a step up from last year, but it wasn't a big enough step. I think next year they'll be able to improve, and I gotta see Joe Burrow being able to be healthy the entire season to really be high on the Bengals. So if he is healthy and the entire season and he does better than what I expected, that's probably why I didn't make a very good prediction. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. See you guys next time.